Well, hey y'all, it's Steve with Cooking with Max. Welcome in. Today we're gonna make some mac and cheese, some baked macaroni and cheese. So I've got my pasta boiling right now. Still got about 3.5 minutes left. I'm cooking it to the package directions. You want to salt your water really good. But I'm cooking it about a minute less than the package directions, so I want it al dente. And I'm using, instead of elbow macaroni, I'm using the Ridge. I don't know if you guys can see or not. I don't know if you can see that. It's a bigger macaroni and it's got ridges on it. So that's what I'm doing now. And then, so I'm going to finish that. I'm going to drain that. We're going to need I'm using a casserole dish, one of the metal casserole dishes. You're going to need 6 tablespoons of butter, 4 cups of either whole milk or half and half, whichever you prefer, 6 tablespoons of flour, and then I'm also adding, and I'll go over this again when I come back, I'm adding dry mustard, white pepper, a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, salt, a little nutmeg, parsley, and a couple of dashes of Tabasco. So I always just like to do that. That's optional, of course. But anyway, be back when this is done, when I've drained it, and then we'll go on to the next steps. And then, of course, lots of cheese. All right, so my pasta's done. I've got it, I drained it, put it back in the pot, and I'm just setting it over here on the stove. I've got the burner off just to kind of keep the pasta warm for a few minutes while I do my sauce. So in this, I've got my 6 tablespoons of butter. And then to that, I've got my 6 tablespoons of flour, dry mustard, white pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. So I'm going to put that in there. And I'm just going to whisk this. And you want to cook out that flour. So you want to let it, you want to whisk it so there's no lumps. And right out of the, right away, see this is going to be a little darker because I've got that mustard, dry mustard, and the garlic powder, onion powder, and all that in there. So it's going to be dark to begin with. So I just want to cook this. I'm just going to cook this till it's combined. See, it's starting to already bubble up there, so. And I've got it on a little less than medium, so about a 4. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my milk. Add that, and then I'm going to keep whisking. I'm just going to whisk that to incorporate all that in that with the milk. And now I'm going to let this cook, and I'm going to watch it and stir it with the whisk so it doesn't get any lumps. I'm going to do this for about 5-6 minutes, and I'll be right back. One thing I forgot to mention, I did put a half a tablespoon of salt in here too. So, all right, so. I'm still waiting on my sauce to thicken. It's starting to thicken a little bit, but I've turned it up now to about 7 or 8. On that high, just be sure and watch it. So what I forgot to do though is so I just do just a couple of drops of Tabasco, nothing crazy. Leave it out if you don't want to, if you don't want it. And then nutmeg, and again, just a little sprinkling of nutmeg. If you've got fresh nutmeg, great. I don't have any fresh nutmeg, so I've got the stuff in the jar. And then just for a little color, I just like to sprinkle some parsley. Again, totally optional. If you don't want it, no worries. Leave it out. I think it just looks a little nicer. So I'm going to continue stirring this until it gets thick, which it looks like it's starting to. Yeah, I think it's starting to do nice, starting to thicken up. So I may just stick with it here. So I've got my dish. I'm using, you can use any kind of cheese you want. I've got 2 cups of Colby Jack just because I had it in the refrigerator, and I've got 2 cups of mild cheddar. You could use you could use a little blue cheese if you wanted a little tang to it. You could use all mild. You could use mild and sharp. Just whatever you want to do. But just be sure that once this starts to thicken up, you don't want to put your cheese in with your heat on. So you want to cut the heat before you add your cheese. Otherwise your cheese will clump up and it won't melt like it should. So this is looking really nice. I don't know if you guys can see how thick and creamy that is, which is perfect. So I'm gonna let that go for another, looks like it's right about there. And I love these pots. I found these at Sam's Club. They're 20 bucks, but they're 5.5 quart saucepans. So you can boil in them, fry in them, do whatever you want. Cook in them, however you want to cook in them. There we go. Only thing they don't have are lids, so I got to figure out how to find the lids. Maybe I may get on Amazon or something like that. So I cut the heat off. So I turn the heat off. Let that cool down just a touch. You can see it's boiling away. So now I'm going to add my cheese. And I've got more cheese. I've got more cheese also that I'm going to put on top of it later. So you dump your cheese in and you want to get stirring right away. You don't want to let that sit. Let that stir. And you're going to get a really nice cream sauce. You can see that. And you can see the parsley in there. Keep stirring that up a little bit. And at this point, if you did need to thin it out a little bit, you sure could with just a little bit more milk or something like that. I'm going to take this completely off the heat now. And I'm going to add, see if you guys can see. If I can get you a little closer here. Hang on. How's that? Is that a little better? So I'm going to dump my pasta. Don't need that anymore. So we're going to dump the pasta in here, like so. And I didn't put any, some people put oil or something like that to coat their pasta. I didn't do that. I don't do that. If you want to, you go right ahead. So now I'm just going to fold this in and bring it back over here. I'm just going to fold that in. And now I've sprayed my pan. So let me move it back here so you can see. I've sprayed my pan, and now it's just a matter of dumping it in. Dumping it in, and I've preheated my oven. Preheated my oven 350, and I'm going to put this in there. And let it bake. Let it bake for about 20 minutes or so. About 25 minutes. And then when I come back, I'm going to layer I'm going to put a layer of cheddar cheese on top, let it get nice and golden brown and bubbly, and we'll be ready to eat it. All right, y'all. Put my glasses back on so I can see. Took the the macaroni and cheese came out of the oven about 25 minutes or so. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to top it. Going to put a layer of cheddar cheese on top. This is just mild cheddar that I'm putting on here. Put as much or as little as you want, and I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this back. I'm going to move my rack up, and I'm actually going to put it under the broiler and let it sit under the broiler for just a minute or two. Watch it when you do that because it's not. Watch it because if you walk away, it'll burn. So anyway, be back in a minute. All right, y'all. It's been under the broiler for a couple minutes. I'm going to pull this out, and actually, see, it's not quite brown enough yet. So I'm going to put it back in there for another minute or two, and then I'll be right back. All righty. So. Just took it out of the oven. As you can see, it got nice and brown on the top. So that's still really hot. So I'm gonna wait a minute to taste it. So anyway, super good macaroni and cheese. Good for a crowd. Holidays coming up. So anyway, give it a whirl. Thanks for coming in, joining me today cooking. Follow me on my socials, Cooking with Bax, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye.